This is a time where black voices calling out racial injustice are front and center, and not just in this country, but around the world. And the effects are reverberating across sports, especially in college football, where players used to minimizing their feelings about racism are using this moment to share their truth. Since the death of George Floyd, protests over social injustice and the mistreatment of black people by police have become a driving force for change. And in this moment, black college football players have been making their voices heard. Dozens of protests and marches involving players have taken place across the country in recent weeks, like in Missouri, where players led a campus rally before marching to the county courthouse to register to vote, or Texas, where Longhorn players and their coach, Tom Herman, marched to the state's Capitol building before joining protests against racism. And several players are speaking out about their own programs. At Florida State, star defensive lineman Marvin Wilson called out Coach Mike Norvell for falsely claiming he, quote, went back and forth individually with every player over the death of Floyd. He did not, and has since apologized to the team. Numerous former Iowa Hawkeyes claim they faced an unwelcoming culture at the team's facility, including racially based mistreatment from their strength coach, Chris Doyle. Doyle, since placed on administrative leave, has denied the claims. Utah defensive coordinator Morgan Scalley has been suspended for sending a text message including a racial slur in 2013. An external investigation into the matter has been launched. And last Tuesday, Clemson assistant coach Danny Pearman apologized after several players accused him of using a racial slur in practice. Dabo Sweeney addressed the claims in a lengthy video statement posted Monday.
I would fire a coach immediately if he called a player an N-word. No questions asked. That did not happen. He did not call someone an N-word.
And defended himself against claims by a former player that he used a racial slur in front of the team.
What was said this week is absolutely false. I stood before the team and as I always do, said, guys, I don't want to hear that word. Never did I repeat that word.
We're pleased to be joined now by Coach Alonzo Carter, running backs coach for San Jose State University. He started a weekly Zoom meeting for coaches in May during the COVID-19 pandemic, and that has grown to include hundreds of coaches, and they've been discussing recently how to best address issues of racism and social injustice with others in their programs. Coach, I want to ask you, why was it important for you to have a dialogue with other minority coaches about how to best address these issues?
Well, the biggest thing, I wanted to use my platform of all the friends I've had in the coaching industry. I've been a head coach in high school and junior college level for 25 years. Being from the inner city, I know that just all the things that go on in our community. And so I know a lot of coaches shared the same feelings that I have, the minority coaches, all the African-American coaches that make up, there's a small percentage of us. So I just wanted us to get together and share some issues on how we can educate each other and network through this business and try to put ourselves in positions of power.
And now you've been talking about issues that are being discussed across the country concerning race, social injustice. What approach have you taken with players on your team to address their concerns over these issues?
Well, the biggest thing is just, you want to listen, you want to learn, and you want to share. We just want to be heard. We want people to hear about the oppression that goes on, acknowledge that there's a problem. I think that's the biggest thing, that all the coaches from wherever they are across the country had different views and different ways that they've dealt with it. But the biggest thing we wanted to create was some dialogue. And let's acknowledge that there is a problem, and let's acknowledge that be part of the solution, don't be part of the problem. And I think that's what most of us have different perspectives, but we all share our views on it. And when you're in a position of power, to be able to use your platform to get through to our players, which are our future leaders, let's educate them on how to be better. Let's educate them on how to listen to each other. Let's have some empathy of what's going on, and let's try to end this systemic oppression that's going on across the country.
Coach, I want to ask you, what's been your reaction? You've seen players on social media sharing their truths about racial mistreatment in various programs and inhospitable culture and others. Use of racial slurs. What's been your reaction as you've seen players using their voices to express that?
Well, I encourage you. That's why I'm saying with our platform, we want to listen, we want to learn from each other, but most importantly, we want to share. We want to be able to listen to what we call oppression. We want to hear and acknowledge that there are issues. We want to acknowledge that there is racism across the country, and we're not going to solve it overnight, but we just want to take the leaders that are at the college level to be able to go back into the communities and educate our elementary school and middle school students so they can understand their platform. And we as coaches, as leaders, leaders of men, it's our responsibility and it's our duty to make sure that we're educated and we share each other's views on how we think we can help solve the problem. And I think if you can reach one or two people and make small steps towards getting things changed, then this is what we do every Thursday. We've accomplished our mission.
All right, San Jose State coach Alonzo Carter, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.